So today we are talking about passion in relationships. And last week we talked about passion, finding your passion, uh, living your passion. And today we're going to talk about passions with people, other people. So whether you are again, in a relationship or like a romantic relationship or even just with your friends, there is always a type of passion with the people that we love. Sometimes that passion is can be anger. Anger is a very passionate emotion. And today we want to talk about a more happy, loving passion. Most of the time when we talk about passion, people automatically go towards thinking about sex. But that's really not what passion is all about. Passion is about connection. It's about joy. It's about being with someone fully, with all of your being. Being mindful, like we were talking about the other day. So I want to start by talking about love languages. And a lot of you may have heard of love languages, and there are 5 of them. It's was a book by Gary Peterson, I believe his name is. I hope that's right. I know someone named Gary Peterson, so I'm hoping I'm not confusing the two. And so there are 5 love languages, and we all have 1 or 2 that are primary for us, and they may not match the other people in our lives. So it's really important to know what yours is, and also to know what the others are as well, so that we can honor the love languages of those we love. So the first, I'm going to do them in the order that they are for me. There is a test online, 5 love languages test, and it's a really quick little test, and it tells you right then and there. You don't have to pay anything, you don't have to sign up for anything, it just tells you what your love languages are. And then if you want to learn more, of course, you can buy the book. So my first one is physical touch. Pretty obvious. Anything involving touch, holding hands, hugging, sex, of course, just cuddling on the couch, being PDAs, physical displays of affection, or public displays of affection, and anything like that really shows me that I'm loved. The next one for me is acts of service. So that's when someone does something for me. Those little things like filling up your car with gas, fixing something in the house, doing dishes, bringing you your breakfast in the morning, making your coffee, warming up your slippers. All of those things can be acts of service. They don't have to be anything big, but those little things that make you feel special make are my second love language. The next one is quality time. So spending time with a person and really being present and fully there with them. And again, it can be something very small to something huge, like a big trip. Receiving, yes. Heidi just put like a homemade toque. Heidi made me a toque a few years back, and I still wear it, Heidi. And I think about you every time. Quality time receiving gifts. So a handmade gift, popping into the store on your way home and buying flowers, some food, it could be anything, but giving the person you love a gift. And then the final one is words of affirmation. Saying I love you, telling them good job, I appreciate you, you're amazing, all of those things as well. So like I said, it's really important to know what your love language is, as well as those that you love. because when the two of you are communicating with those love languages, everybody goes, as it just brings you together and makes everyone feel like they're heard, like they're loved, like they like they're special. And if you don't know your love language, or you don't know the love language of the people you care about, be sure to take the test, 5 love languages test. Another thing that I had to work on quite a lot, and I still work on it, is saying thank you. It's a small thing. It's a tiny little, 2 words, but it means so much. When you get that act of service or that quality time or their gift, say thank you. Because the reason I didn't used to say thank you is because I just assumed that people knew. And then I realized that even if they did know, even just saying those words made a world of difference. So be sure to say thank you when someone shows you love, no matter how that may be. Even if it's not your primary love language, still appreciate it. Now, let's talk about more specifically about some things that you can do in your relationship to keep the passion alive. And again, passion being that fire between you that may not necessarily be physical. It could be spiritual, mental, intellectual. Those things all work together to keep the passion alive in your relationships, whether it's romantic or otherwise. And the first one is communication. So it's really important to listen. Oh my goodness. It drives me crazy when I feel like someone is not listening to me, when I can't be heard. And a friend of mine shared a story that was very sweet about how in her previous relationship she never felt heard. And when they split, her partner took her socket set, and she loves doing renos. Her current husband, who's a friend of mine, is saying that you can't leave her alone for the day, because he can't leave her alone for a day, because he'll come home and something will be ripped apart and a new project will be started. And he heard her story about missing her socket set, and he bought her a socket set. And it seems strange to some people who that may not be important to, but to her it meant everything when he gave her that socket set, because it showed that he listened and heard her. And that's what we need in a relationship, is to be heard and appreciated and understood. And along with communication, we learn about each other. Another friend of mine, years and years ago, she told me a story about how she was at a family event, and her dad shared a story, and her parents had been married for 30 years. And her dad shared a story, and her mom looked at him and went, "I've never heard that before." So there's always something new to learn. Never assume that just because you've been together for a while that you know everything. We change, we grow, and there's always something new and exciting to learn about another person. And this isn't necessarily communication, but it does communicate in its own way, and that's flirt. I'll continue to flirt with your loved one, because this would be romantic, because that just shows you're interested. It keeps a spark. It creates more fun in the relationship. So don't just flirt with the new cute barista, flirt with your partner. The end of a relationship is not signaled by the end of sex. It is signaled by the end of communication. So if you feel like your relationship is starting to get stale, that it's getting hard, that it's getting not as exciting, not as fulfilling, look at the communication and see where you can punch that up and make that better. Another way to keep passion and in your relationships is a relationship bucket list. And this is again learning about people, learning about each other, and learning new things. So have that list of things to do together, to learn about each other, conversations to have. There's all kinds of books out there that conversation starters and games as well that can create um, that that connection and really take you to another level. Another way to really serve each other in your relationship and build the passion is to help each other with your goals. You may not have exactly the same goals, you may not have the same passions outside of your relationship, but you can still support the other person with their goals and keep them moving forward. Because as we talked about last week, when your passion for in your life is fueled, your life is so much more full. And when your life is full and your partner's life is full, you're going to have more passion together. It's when we start to get comfortable, when we start to lose our love of life and our joy and our giggle and our glee, that our relationships start to stale as well, because we have nothing to share. We have nothing exciting going on. Practical suggestion is to have a no work and no phone zone. So have those times in your life where you say, okay, we're just going to put away our phones. We're not going to, turn off the ringer, keep it away from you, just for half an hour, just to have a real conversation, to spark that communication, because you're not constantly being pulled away. And have that, not talking about work, because we can get bogged down in that. And sure, it is important to talk about what's happening in our work, but there's so much more to talk about as well. This is pretty basic. You probably heard it before. Have a date night. I want to talk from personal experience on the date night. My ex-partner, and I used to have a date night every single week, which seemed like a great idea, but it ended up being the same every single time. We go out for dinner, we go to a movie, and we come home and we watch TV. That was a date night. There really wasn't anything special. So make sure that that date night is not same old, that every month or week, or however often you decide to do it, that you put some thought into it, that it is a special night to have that no phone zone, that no work zone, and to really listen and be with each other and learn something new, do something new, or revisit something that makes you both really go, And finally, it's important, of course, to pay attention to your partner, to serve them, to help them, to honor their love language. And at the same time, it's thankful. We've heard many times, I'm sure, to that we can't run in an empty tank. So there needs to be something in your life that keeps you going, that keeps you fueled, that passion for in your life that we were talking about last week. And the way I like to illustrate it is, think about an old-fashioned pitcher, or like a wash basin that they used to have in people's homes because they didn't have running water. So it had a pitcher, and then it had a platter underneath it, like a shallow bowl. And the way most of us live our lives is we keep pouring from that pitcher. We keep giving to other people. We keep giving our money, giving our time, giving our love, giving our ourselves in every way until that pitcher is empty and there's nothing left. So if you live your life in a way that keeps that pitcher filling, not just to the top of the pitcher, but overflowing into the bowl underneath, you'll never run out because you've always got a reserve. So find things, ways in your life to be good to yourself. Things that make you feel sexy, whether it's doing your nails, getting your hair done, going out for dinner, going for a walk, something, doing a picture, like my friend, doing renovations on your house, writing a story. Of course, a lot of these are mine. So find out what yours is. What makes you full? What fills you to overflowing? What recharges your battery so that you can bring that into your relationships? Many, many relationships, whether, again, it's your romantic or friends or family. So I just want to take a pause and read a quote from my favorite, Miss Mae West, from the Bad Kitty Handbook. And as I've said before, this was my first book, my nonfiction book that went with the public speaking that I was talking about earlier. And in it, I've got a list of all my favorite bad kitties, women who inspire me. And the first one that I always go to is Mae West. And she said, "I never loved another person the way I loved myself." That can be taken a couple of different ways. It could be, but let's take it today. Let's take it the way that you are loving yourself, that you are paying attention to yourself, that you are treating yourself, that you're making yourself feel sexy, and fueling your own fire, filling your own pitcher. And I just want to read this one just because I think it's hilarious, and it's Valentine's Day. "Love thy neighbor, and if he happens to be tall, debonair, and devastating, it will be that much easier." So happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Remember, appreciate the people in your life. Say thank you. Recognize when they make an effort. And just love yourself, love them, and keep that passion going so that we can all go together. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your support. Please share the video when it comes online. And also, please go to my website, thebadkitty.com. That's where you can find my other book, Serial Love, which is an erotic novel, which of course is full of passion of all kinds. So I want to check that out. You can also get both books, Serial Love and the Bad Kitty Handbook, on Amazon in either print or Kindle version, depending which one you prefer. So again, thank you for joining me. Happy Sunday, happy Valentine's Day, and stay sexy, everybody.